Hi everybody, it's Jared. We're here in my house actually, and Chris Lewis has been spending the night at Chez Siebert a little bit this week. He's been traveling around in Saskatchewan promoting a new conference. So, Chris Lewis, uh, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you're connected to the Free Methodist Church and what you're out here in Saskatchewan doing?
Sure. I started going to Siebert Chateau in Toronto about 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, and was there for a couple of years on staff for a bit, and then ended up moving to Sarnia. So now I sort of hang my hat with folks from the story. And I'm out in Saskatchewan promoting this new thing. It's called Revival of the Weakest, which is a conference that I'm putting together. So I've just been touring around in Saskatoon, Regina, so in Carinport for a bit, and just touching base with people. So I don't know if you remember, but the group that put together the pre-general conference event for the last general conference, that's my sort of little organization called Epiphania, and we've been running events mostly in Ontario, actually exclusively in Ontario for the last 5 years. And at Present Tensions, which was the event before the general conference, just touched base with some people from Lakeview Church in Saskatoon and talked about what it would be like to run something like that out here. So over a couple of months, the conversation just kept going, and we made plans to run something. And it's called Survival of the Weakest, happening May 12th.
So what's the point of this conference? What's the focus?
The focus is on justice, mercy in the local church. Epiphania, when we started, we basically started because we were in school. We all went to Tyndale, and we were learning things there that we had not learned growing up in the church, which we thought was really just strange. So we decided to do something about that and just decided to try to start some sort of conversation or bring some of these ideas to the surface. So, and one of those ideas was the idea of justice being sort of something that happens overseas and not necessarily every day in my life. So, and that's kind of what Survival Week is going to be about. What does it mean to be a person of justice in all sort of aspects of life, including stuff like the overseas, which is super important. But what does it mean for there to be justice in your home, in your city, in your church?
So what's the lineup for this conference? Who's coming?
We got Shane Claiborne is coming. He wrote Irresistible Revolution and is founder of The Simple Way, which is sort of an intentional, monastic, justice-focused community in Philadelphia. And Ron Sider will be there. He is a professor, author of Rich Christians and Age of Hunger, contributor to Christianity Today and all that stuff. And then Len Sweet will be there, sort of our theologian, church guru, I guess would be the word, maybe. Written a ton of books. Yeah, so they'll all be there. Plus, we'll have about 8 to 10 workshop leaders, local pastors, justice practitioners, people from the city, who will be addressing a host of topics. Everything from like there's a Peace and Reconciliation Commission with the First Nations happening here in June, so there'll be a workshop about that. There's stuff about a John school that's run in the city. Just a whole host of different topics.
Okay. What do you hope comes out of all this? What do you hope hope will happen?
Well, first and foremost, one of the reasons we're here is that Lakeview invited us to be here, and I know that they really want to use it as maybe even like a shift in the way that they even understand church, and sort of part of their faith journey being directed towards justice initiatives. So if we can contribute to any part of that for them, that's awesome, and we'll be super happy to be here. And then for people who just attend and maybe aren't part of Lakeview, it would be fantastic for them to just be aware of what's happening in Saskatoon, what opportunities might be available for them, and just sort of reinforce the ideas that justice is not something that happens overseas, or it's not something that happens just because you sign up to do for a certain amount of money a month. That's not necessarily, I mean, it is justice because you are helping, there's no doubt about it, but I think there might be something more tangible to justice, something maybe more about getting our hands a bit dirtier. So.
Okay. And if people can't make it to Saskatoon on May 12th, what should they do? Is there a way for them to hear about some of the stuff that's going on?
Yep, we'll be recording all the sessions, so they'll be available online for download probably within a couple of days after the event.
Okay. What's the website called?
It is theweakest.ca.
Okay. All right, Chris. Thanks a lot for meeting with us and telling us what you're doing.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it.